Hey, cunts, don't forget to click the subscribe button.
Yeah, I don't know how to not do that because it's an asset that drops into the business.
No, I understand. Well, because I vaguely remember what we discussed when you were here last time.
Yeah.
But then that's why you don't want to give cross collateralization to begin with.
Yeah.
Because once they've got it,
they don't want to let go.
You know, once you've got a girlfriend gives you kinky sex, and then all of a sudden she wants to become a nun, that dog don't hunt. It just doesn't hunt. And so to get them off cross collateralization takes an act of I don't know who. And some of my biggest superstars on the Hall of Fame have ridden the bull market the last 10, 11 years, not in stocks, but in property, etc. And they just call up, I got another $11 million deal, fine, we'll just add it on to the deal. And now they've got 60, 70 properties, all cross-collateralized. And the only way that they're going to get off that is either by selling off property, which then they're going to say, well, what collateral are you going to bring back now that you sold that off?
Yeah. Okay. Cash.
Or exit the whole thing. Now, I've got guys refinancing deals now, pulling as much cash out as possible off the cross-collateralization for a number of reasons. Number one, the market's not going to be forever. And number two, before the market's not forever, the interest rates are going to go up. They're going to go up. Whether they go up, 50 basis points, 0.5%, or 100 basis points, which is 1%, but it doesn't make any difference. When they go up 300 basis points, and back in the seminar in the early days, I used to say if your deal collapses or isn't worth doing because of 300 basis points or 3%, you're looking at the wrong deal. But these interest
do you foresee an increase in the next 5?
No. I mean, when it went up 15, 16 years ago, it went up 50 basis points, 150 basis points, 100 basis points. So it went up 2.5 points in a matter of months. And everybody's scrambling to refinance and or get out. And with that, it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. It drove property prices down. Everybody's trying to get out. And one of the reasons they don't talk about Mayfair real estate and Manhattan, it would be, you know how when you flush a toilet, that last turd that goes down, that's what the market would look like.
Yeah. In Australia, they used to have, I was talking to the governor of our Reserve Bank, and this was some years ago.
He knows big hitters. We don't know any of those guys.
But this is true. He said to me that the interest rate is like a volume control for property prices. But now that's broken in Australia because the interest rates are so low. And we had a bull market. So they can't actually turn the interest rate up to slow the property market. So we don't really know where we're going to head.
Well, you're already down under.
Yeah, look.
I mean, how bad can it get? You're already down under. But remember, Adelaide, Jason Nagy is making history in Australia.
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
Yeah, so I mean, it's possible. But now you know non-recourse. Of course, I get an occasional note or message on LinkedIn from irate bankers.
Really?
Yeah. What is it? What do you have to tell everybody about non-recourse money? Because I may be the only guy out there.
Well, I've never heard it before.
I know.
Everybody spoke to, every bank is supposed to, we need this, we need that, we need your children, your property, your dog, your everything, house. But since I've been speaking about non-recourse, they have agreed in theory to release my personal assets once we separate all the accounting for it.
Sure. So, in the first deal, the guys that are left in the, which they'll explain when they present their case, 4 or 5 of the basic rules of buying a business were broken by a canny, smart lawyer. He just didn't think everybody was a thief. 3/4 of the cash in the bank went out as a special dividend after the deal closed because they didn't change the bank accounts. I mean, I assume everybody's a thief, except the nuns that we support. They're the only ones that we don't think of. We don't even trust the priests. The nuns we trust. Mm-hmm. And you just have to assume that. Unfortunately, people will not surprise you. Will not surprise you with their honesty. They'll surprise you with them being crooks. Now, when you get up there and you explain this,
yep.
Okay, and you they'll have another board, and you go through your rationale why you're doing it. And you have to, in your particular case, you have to get the overall concept because your deals are actually supplementary and or complementary to your existing business, and why, and the market, and the banker told you that he was going to take care of you with non-recourse money, and then you're going to decide, is it a good deal? Is it a bad deal? Do you walk away? If you're going to walk away, why you would walk away? But he's already done it, so he hasn't walked away. But some of your group and some of the guys in the class might say, why are you doing that anyway, old timer? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And and that's really Anelli, the South African guy. His eyes were made to be even more wide open because a couple of the guys in his group last December brought up some points that he candidly had missed and his board had missed. And but it'll be a good thing. Any questions about what he's doing?
Yeah. So my question is based on this industry standard for buying property management contracts is 50 to 60% LTV, what the bank will loan on it.
Correct. Yeah.
And you got them up to 80%.
We're at 73 because they are looking at individual deals on their own.
Whatever it is, my question is with a deal like this, because there's a few, basically it's a stream of income you're buying, is how do you finance this without, can you go get you mentioned mezzanine financing, but that's,
we're looking at now.
how do you finance this without breaking the rule of cross-collateralizing is my question, without bringing your own cash?
We're looking at now a deal which will be a chain of deals, but not tied together, but consecutive acquisition. And it should run at about 40 to 50 mil. We will be the biggest in the country before long. I'm quite serious about that. It won't take us that long. And there's one big player out there that's a billionaire that this is just a small, tiny little thing for him. He's got other things to do. He's got 20,000 managements. If we can get to a certain level, there's no reason why he wouldn't want to sell those. There's nothing personal for him. He hasn't grown it or anything. He just bought it. So we could grow very rapidly. But with the bigger deal, the bank actually came to me. He's got this group of people together. He knows your industry. We'll go up to 70 or 80. He'll come in with the mezzanine. If you can get some vendor finance, we'll put the whole thing together for you without putting your hand in your pocket. Well, there's no way I could ever thought that without.
But the way he does it is, if let's say the LTV is you got them 73%, 70. The seller finance 30%.
The difficulties with these smaller ones is they're hot. Everybody wants to buy them because everyone can afford them, you see. But if you're going to buy something worth 10 or 20 mil, under the current standard, you're going to have 40% of that in your pocket. And not a lot of people don't have that.
Well, no, unless you...
But see, that's the way the industry thinks.
I know, but you don't, as Bruce Whipple would say, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got guys doing deals with seller, we call it equity now, it's not seller finance, seller's equity, that were unheard of before.
Well, I had a discussion with a guy that's got a big one, it's about 15 million, and for us that's a big one, that our industry. And I didn't bring up seller's equity or seller's finance or seller's... He brought it up and said, yeah, we could probably leave that in the deal for a time, and because at that level, there are not a lot of buyers. So we're getting into the stage now where there's not a lot of buyers. So once you start picking up a couple of the big ones, the rest of them come to you. And it's now, I was saying to Roberto earlier, I'm used to doing these kind of things, and I've done, up to 2 or 2 and a bit consecutively, mil. But the difficult for me is now we're talking 20 million or 30 or 50.
On the concepts?
I'm not, I know how to do the business and all that, but this is a real challenge for me because it's so far above my base line of thinking.
It's way outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, and I can I don't get stressed at work. I don't get stressed. Nothing stresses me. But I can just feel it now. when I think about a deal that size, I can feel it now.
Well, everybody that's here, as I said, as Roberto said, the biggest thing that changed in him was thinking much larger, much bigger, and and that's everybody. I mean, that comes here, both in the number of transactions and the size of the transactions. Marcus Bauer didn't know that because last year he did 12 deals, and this year he's doing twice that. He didn't think that anybody 25 deals was a big deal until he heard that it was the record, and it happened to be my record from 30 years ago. And so now he's off. You know, he doesn't even want to sleep because he's doing deals all the time. But the market will change. It's going to change. It's just, you know, I don't know if it's another year or another 5 years. I have no idea. But when it does change, we'll be better off because of it'll increase motivated sellers.
The property market has dropped substantially in Sydney.